Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to it. Thank you for being alive. And of course, we continue with the introduction series to Mind Power is God's Power. And this is chapter 7. It is titled The Transformation Process. So I'm just going to read the opening paragraph to the book. Remember, the book is available for free download on our website. It is www.20thinking.africa. All right, so as it opens, this is how it goes. This is, or rather, the transformation process. So the transformation process, this is the stage when things become a reality. They become a reality. So this is the stage, it's the process. Everything in life undergoes this phase, and your mind is the determining factor for the transformation in your personal life. The transformation process is the journey in which you deliberately focus your thoughts, which is energy, and emotions, which is energy and emotions, to generate physical energy in the form of inspired action, thereby transforming your ideas, impulses, desires, goals, ambitions, dreams, and everything that you want to achieve and experience into a tangible reality. Transformation begins in the mind, and it is usually known as imagination and visualization. Inspired action is important during this phase because when you want to manifest something, it is usually fueled by your imagination and the actions translated into physicality, from non-physicality, which is imaginative, which is the imagination, the visualization, the planning, the ideas, the impulses, the inspiration. That transformation process is very important because it is determined by the actions, but it needs to be inspired action. The inspired actions then translate into a manifestation that is physical and tangible. Remember, manifestations are not only physical. Manifestation begins from the thoughts. So a burning desire is a thought. A thought is a manifestation in the relation to whatever it is that you want. So for instance, let's say you want to start a company, you want to start a project, or you want to come up with an idea in terms of generating more sales or generating an income or just getting a job or maybe just establishing your career or establishing whatever it is that you want to focus upon. It could be marriage, it could be your kids, it could be your family, it could be social, economic, political, spiritual, whatever it is that you want to focus upon. It begins from the imagination faculty of your mind. Remember, chapter 6 deals with the power of your mind, and therefore that's where imagination comes from. But now when you're talking about the transformation process, we're trying to explain the journey of A to B, and therefore C and D. So all these steps are manifestations within themselves. However, this is an intangible manifestation, which is the thought. And then we've got the emotional manifestation, which is the emotional contents. And then we've got the inspired actions. So the actions are physical manifestations. It is physical evidence of what your emotional content is and your mental and spiritual content is. So whatever it is that you do as a person, it is usually an indication of who you are in terms of your energy space, your thought space, and your belief vibration. In other words, your words and your actions are indicating and signaling to the people around you where you are in terms of your emotions and your thoughts. Now we've translated the thoughts and the emotions into action. The actions will be reacted upon through natural occurrences and events, conditions and circumstances, and of course the people that you are bearing in mind. So if it's a project, a proposal, a presentation, an idea, whatever it is, it may be an impulse, it may be a desire. There's always some kind of tangible physical entity involved. It could be an institution. You register to a school, you apply yourself, you register and apply for a company position, you do whatever it is that needs to happen in terms of the actions, right? These manifestations, the entire process from thoughts to emotions and then actions and reactions, this is the manifestation, and this process of unfolding is the transformation process. The problem with most people is that because they just want to focus on the end result, the desired outcome, the wanted condition and experience. When it hasn't happened, so your car is not here yet, your house, your dream home, your marriage, because it hasn't manifested, you haven't physically given birth to something, the common mistake that most people do and make and pretty much get involved in is not really comprehending the transformation process. The process. Think of a farmer. He plants, or rather he actually gets the idea of planting and vegetation and farming and agriculture. The seeds must be sown. He must nurture the plant, and therefore he feels certain vibrations about it. So he feels a certain way because he believes and understands the process. But through the actions literally take some time before a reaction occurs. So before the plant literally sprouts through and springs forth from nature and Mother Nature, before that tree becomes powerful, before the vegetation and the crops and the plants and the harvest, before the harvest becomes ready, there are 3 important steps in this entire transformation process, from seed to tree, from seed to fruit, from seed to vegetables, for instance, whatever it may be that the farmer and the agriculture or any person is trying to achieve, the final end picture is the final perspective and the final stage to the transformation process. The common mistake is that people don't appreciate the process. In other words, we are impatient. We want to satisfy, and we cannot wait for the process. We want instant gratification. We cannot delay the gratification. We don't want to be patient. Therefore, you need to begin to understand that patience is a virtue because of this process. Patience, understanding, and really determining the evaluation and research. You know, the process, the journey. You've heard it before. It's about the journey, not the destination. The destination fuels the next destination. It fuels the next journey. But this is the manifestation within itself. When you receive a thought, it becomes emotional content, and then you take some kind of action. That is the process. Your job is to do everything that you can do to keep the positive energy flowing through this entire cycle. From thought to emotions to inspired action, you need to keep it positive. The final perspective, the final stage of transformation process, that is usually not your responsibility. You give it to God. You do everything that you can do, and you allow the universe to do what it can do and feed you. So you now need to become receptive. When you've done the thoughts and you've done the emotional content and you've done the inspired action, you now need to become receptive and receive the goodness of the universe. This is pretty much the overview of what the transformation process is about. There are many dynamics that we cannot go into right now because it's too much information, but here's the point. Your responsibility is to remain positive minded. It's to keep a positive attitude, a positive mentality, and therefore visualization, prayer, meditation, reading the word of God, reading as many books as possible in relation to positive energy. This is your groundwork. So your thoughts and your brain and your mind is summoned and harnessed and controlled through this power, for instance. And that's the essence of transformation process. It is to begin to learn the idea that your job is not to try and control everything. Your job is not to control the outcome. It's not to control how much money you make. Don't try and control how other people act and behave. Don't try and control the reactions. The reactions are the final stage to the transformation process. Your responsibility and the only thing that you should be accountable for are your thoughts. What kind of thoughts are you thinking? Are you thinking positive? Do you think, I'm going to get the job, I'm going to get the job, I'm going to make it, I will succeed, I will make it through, I will do the things that need to be done. what kind of thoughts are you processing again and again? Are you feeling like a victim? Are you going into the past where you were hurt? Do you take things personally and get offended easily? Or are you very quick to get your thoughts together and literally focus on the goodness? Your emotional content as well. Do you get angry? Do you get angry and then do things that you regret? Do you get frustrated easily? Or are you a loving person and always looking for the kindness and the opportunities of love and giving and the light and so forth? What kind of person are you? Your energy in motion, which is your emotional content, this is the indicator as to, number one, your actions. Because sometimes you're taking actions, but you don't know whether it's pressurized activity or it is inspired action. Remember, there's a difference. Your actions are twofold. There's positive actions, which is determined, or rather, which is defined as inspired action. Or there's pressurized activity. These are actions that are filled with sorrow, they're filled with stress, frustration, arguing, quarreling, fighting, disagreements, literally just upstream and uphill, and it's not easy. That's the wrong direction. You want to be in the space of inspired action. Inspired actions feel natural. They feel good. They resonate with the environment and they are in harmony with the people around you. They are not directly offensive. They are not stepping on toes and corrupt and greedy and bribery and so forth. Actions that are inspired are godly actions. So the transformation process is about understanding the entire journey and the path, because it all begins with the power of your mind. It begins with understanding that everything around you is energy. So energy is literally reflecting to you who you are. So if you are positive in nature, the reactions and the responses and the fruits of your labor and the things that manifest in your life should always be what you want. If you're receiving things that you don't want, it means that you don't understand the transformation process, quite frankly, and you need to learn more about it. And the good news is you have more than enough time to learn everything that you need to learn on this planet. It begins with your mind and your belief. So for more information, you can visit our website. Remember, this is just an introduction. I cannot overemphasize everything through these videos. These are short videos, really. I speak very fast. Please forgive me, but I'm trying to translate the energy and the information as clearly as possible and as clear. Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in.